welcome back to the First Strike North America Closed Qualifiers, brought to you by Nerd Street Gamers. Earlier, we brought you 100 Thieves versus Cloud9 Blue, where C9 managed to qualify for the playoffs. But as one of my favorite Marvel characters will say, we are in the end game now, because only 100 Thieves and LUMINOSITY in this game, between them, only one of them can progress further. And joining me in this best of three are your casters, Alex and Vansili. Guys, I know this is a rematch between these two teams, but since the first time they played each other, I would argue that both of them have improved. Both of them have somehow gotten better in this close qualifier. So, Vansili, with that in mind, taking that in mind, what are we expecting in this match?
So for me, looking at Luminosity Gaming, when we think that they improve, or we say that they've improved, they definitely did improve in a matchup versus Exit, right? It went to a 3-map. We had one of them go into overtime. It was a nice battle. But versus 100 Thieves, when you look back at the VODs and back at that matchup, it was very one-sided in favor of 100 Thieves. So I don't know at that point, though, is LG also, have they improved enough from a matchup versus Xset to be back at the level of where 100 Thieves are at, right? And it shows how much they have to climb, because there's a huge gap in those first matches. It was like a 13-4, 13-2 on Ascent and on Bind, if I'm not mistaken. And now even at this point, they realize how much they got spanked on Ascent, that they're choosing Haven into this matchup now. So Ascent is still going to be in that rotation. I think I saw that that Split was going to be banned no matter what here, courtesy of 100 Thieves, because 100 Thieves, they don't like to play Split. We all know that already. So having the other 3 maps still in the rotation, maybe the moment of salvation now for LG is having Haven in that map rotation. But yeah, I think it's still going to be such a tough battle here for LG, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that we've seen these teams play each other in the last 48 hours or whatever it was, I just don't see LG having maybe turned something around in a great way. But I will say this, and I did preface this earlier when we were discussing 100 Thieves' performance from that matchup, was I wasn't sure whether or not to analyze that as 100 Thieves looking really good or LG looking terrible. And what I mean by that is it just looked like there was a lot of missed kills, missed opportunities, like LG wasn't playing in their proper form. And then later that day, we saw guys like a Proto Thief really stepping up and playing out of their minds against a less competitive Xset. So it's hard for me to judge whether or not, strategically, or whether or not the practice is there for both of these teams to prepare for each other, because, on the other end of that is, I do think LG is just not going to have the warm-up. They're not going to have the zone that probably 100 Thieves has taken out of that match. They're probably hungry to win this. They're probably warmed up. That in a way that LG isn't. You know what I mean?
I guess just to add too, when you're at the moment where you have nothing to lose as well, your back is turned against the wall. You already know that you got dismantled the first time versus 100 Thieves. You just want to play with your hearts out, maybe less pressure, because you know that you're the heavy underdog into this matchup, so you don't have that pressure of the fan base or the outcome of what the match is going to be. So maybe there's a chance that you play this a little bit more relaxed, and being more relaxed shows those crisp shots that we saw from LG versus Xset. I mean, we're talking about the one taps that are coming in from Mata, a Proto and Thief, as Lex was mentioning before, as an Omen player, or also even as a duelist, and even as a Cypher from a Proto. They have the firepower, but again, I don't think it's enough versus 100 Thieves.
Well, just looking at the map picks, Lex, talk me through what you make of this one, because, earlier we didn't see 100 Thieves play that Haven because he was banned out. Luckily, as Vansili mentioned, they had the ban this time around, which means they can eliminate that sort of uncertainty we saw of them on Spit. But now they are going Haven and then Bind, which again, they didn't look too great today on Bind, and Ascent, which obviously they completely steamrolled, but would it actually come to a stage where we see them on Ascent, or do you think they're going to take Haven and Bind as a 2-0?
I think it's actually possible. I know I'm kind of speaking to how good 100 Thieves just looked despite losing, right? Like, I kind of hyped them up as being a team a cut above LG potentially here. However, I will say this. Haven, I don't necessarily think that's going to be favoring LG, but I think Bind is going to be a super competitive map between these two sides. 100 Thieves looked comfortable against Cloud9 at times, but there was definitely a blueprint for how to beat 100 Thieves in that matchup, and LG just got to watch that. So in terms of whether or not this could go to Ascent, Yinsu, I think it's absolutely possible, but I think if we're being realistic, 100 Thieves is a heavy favorite here in terms of they just played a match. They're absolutely warmed up and starting to play well individually. So I just think it's still going to be 100 Thieves edge. Probably not going to go to Ascent, but it's possible.
Yeah, I also believe it's going to be a 2-0 for 100 Thieves. As much as I love the LG boys and I love the LG fans, pardon me if I'm not predicting to your favor, guys, but I definitely think that 100 Thieves have this in the bag in a 2-0, and I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope that we're going to be able to see a good series and a good fight in this best out of 3, but based off the results and the gameplay of these two already meeting up against each other early in this group stage, you could definitely heavily favor 100 Thieves.
I feel like you're now obligated to also say you love the 100 Thieves fans, because that is something that they're going to pick up, and you're going to see spams on Reddit being like, Man Silly only likes LG fans. He doesn't like 100 Thieves fans.
I love the game. I love the competition. I love the storyline. So if there's a way that LG could prove me wrong, I'll definitely...
we'll hype it up.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm down for more competition. I want to see where in the top 10 it's just going to be a tough battle for whoever is going to make it into the top 5 every single time.
And before we move into the match, I really wanted to quickly highlight one player. I've seen people spam his name a lot in chat, and despite 100 Thieves losing, everyone is loving Steel. Steel, I think, is having a really good day today. Lex, talk me through what you made of his performances so far.
Well, he had a few highlight reel plays. So, yeah. I mean, our observer catching that action is a large reason why his name's getting spammed. But I wanted to highlight, and I did several times throughout the cast, just how I'm impressed I really was with his defensive capabilities as Killjoy on the bomb sites. He time and again was winning rounds for 100 Thieves, not through his shot, but simply by the fact of being a team player and playing for his life, making sure he's delaying the opposition and the encroachment on the bomb site for as long as possible. Like, there was 4 or 5 rounds a half where you see him just pulling that level of heroics. So I expect Steel to continue that, and I'm excited to see his progress in this game this quickly.
Yeah, even for me as a Sentinel, watching a Sentinel player play, sometimes you're looking at something like a Proto that plays for LG. He's an anchored site, and then he's able to put cages up to slow down the opposition and then just go for the gun battles in the end. When you're looking at Steel playing as a Killjoy, aside from an alarm bot and maybe the turret, if the mollies are being broken down, he's just going to have to be as good as he is in terms of aim, and he can't really hold angles out or dance around. So I think Steel played that perfectly.
Well, this is it, guys. Let's find out if Luminosity have what it takes to upset 100 Thieves. Take it away, guys.
Thank you so much, Yansu. So moving into Haven here, Lex, to start things off between these two teams, LG backs against the wall, as we mentioned before. I want to be positive about this for LG, but I doubt it's going to happen.
When we watched LG yesterday, right? Or day before yesterday.
Yeah, day before yesterday versus Exit, yeah.
I believe what really stood out to me the most was how KZ was getting shut down on Haven, I believe. And for those of you who were not watching that match, KZ off of Luminosity is the jet operator typically. And he's a guy who usually puts up numbers for this team. I mean, I mentioned Thief and a Proto as being heavy fraggers, but the new addition of Mata and Stellar kind of coming into this roster over the last month or so, I expect LG to need his firepower with the operator on Haven to be finding entries and putting himself in a situation to be, not just finding picks, but also delaying some of the pressure that 100 Thieves was showing against Cloud9 with their site hits. I mean, they were pushing operas back constantly and able to dance around that. Dicey was winning duels sometimes against 10s. But, you could turn that around and say the same thing for Dicey. I think both those players are very critical to the success of this team on Haven. That said, Asuka opening things up on the pistol with a headshot on Mata. KZ closes in the distance, finds the trade. Dicey dashes back to site. 4-on-4 now. The A push stalled by Luminosity. And they are holding things up for just a moment to maybe second guess their A push here. 100 Thieves is not fully rotated across the map. Still see Nitro over there at C, locking down in case Luminosity decides to change tactics and fall back. However, they're just delaying, waiting out the time, making 100 Thieves guess their decision.
Perfect smoke.
Second guess, that is, yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice timing from Nitro to put that smoke up, too. As the other ones dissipate towards the Heaven side, I'm pretty sure maybe there's only one smoke available, maybe in return for Luminosity to try to retake towards the A side, but I like how Hiko rotated up towards that heaven side. He doesn't waste on that recon dart yet. They're just waiting for the final moment. Dicey gets his kill coming forward. It gets traded out, but this is where Hiko inside that smoke can go with the recon dart. They spot one towards the back of the site. They will get a plant as well, but a Proto is still pushing through to get the kill onto Steel at the defender spawn. So it's a 3 versus 2. And we still have Nitro finally meeting up here with Hiko. Actually, it's going to be a Herculean play, a solo play from Nitro that manages to get the first kill, but then it's a trade-off, a 1 versus 1, full health for Hiko, and our Proto is actually pushing forward. He spots him. Hiko thinking that he was playing towards that sewers, and as he continues to move forward, lands in with the shot in the face of a Proto, and 100 Thieves will take the pistol.
Beautiful little 1v2 retake there. Nice clutch from Hiko. Sets his team up nice with a 1-0 start, winning that pistol. That was looking a little lucky for Luminosity. Maybe lucky isn't the word, but you know, getting out of that bomb site looked near impossible. The fact that they did, the trades went their way, was very fortunate, and they found themselves in a 2-on-1, but just could not get it done. A Proto, usually the hitman for the LG squad, the guy who you expect to close that round out, gets foiled by the likes of Hiko. That's kind of maybe spelling a bit of, or I guess spilling a bit of foreshadowing on the canvas for what we could expect throughout this match. Hiko's finally finding his mark in the match and playing at a level that we expect him to.
Cage triggered.
This 100 Thieves team just gets that much scarier. And LG, of course, here on the eco after losing pistol, will take things very slowly, but as I say that, Mata finds one at a Nitro at B, over-peeking just a bit at the back of the bomb site. He falls, the push comes in. Bomb plant soon to follow there. He's spamming through that C-Link smoke. KZ will challenge it, and that's Steel falling. And now it's a 5-on-3. Spike's still not planted, but they don't need to. They still have possession of the bomb site. Asuna getting pushed back, pressured, and falls.
Wow.
Oh, 2 more kills. 3 Sheriff headshots on the round for Mata. Oh my goodness, LG comes in with a vengeance, man. After losing that pistol in a close way. They want nothing to do with letting 100 Thieves have the lead. They walk up to B, they take it, and they do not stop pushing forward. Excellent shots coming out there from Mata. 100 Thieves tied up now, 1-1. LG looks scary.
Yeah, that's definitely how you do it as LG to shut my trap and make me start believing, too, of how decisive that was for the attacker side to take that round. And I'm looking at the X's because we missed a couple of those kills, but when I saw Nitro die on that minimap, it looked like he was on the top of the gong in the back of the B side, so it was probably a battle from the back side into, like, what, window? So at that range with the Sheriff to be able to get that opening kill and then allow everybody else from moving forward. The thing is, though, 100 Thieves, despite them getting ecoed, they're still going for a gun round into this round, and it's still going to be Dicey that retaliates back. So the upgrades to get from LG were guns kind of left behind from 100 Thieves because they're able to win with these pistols, so they still come in with a slightly weaker buy versus 100 Thieves where they could immediately turn things around. So Window now under control of 100 Thieves. They have all of the kits towards the A side so they can play a retake, so they could just stack everybody else towards C and play a retake based on numbers. So they're readapting very well here for the defender side. They're maintaining their cool. And now things are just going to slow down a bit for Luminosity Gaming, looking to regress back towards this B site.
I love how scrappy this match has been so far. Going back and forth, and we're, like you mentioned, on a weaker buy than what 100 Thieves is on. So now we're on a 3v5 situation. You've got KZ low HP at front B, walking
30
in.
seconds left.
Spotted out by the Cypher and Connector, or sorry, cleared out by the Cypher. And might be able to get a bomb plant here, but this is extremely dangerous territory for LG still. Not out of the woods yet. A Proto looking to challenge, maybe even the odds somewhat. He does not get the challenge yet. Asuna creeping around here at mid, the window. Nobody is watching this angle, so KZ just gets dropped immediately. A Proto chimes in with one. Stellar with another. Suddenly this is a 2-on-1. Oh my goodness, can Stellar wrap around here in time? He's not holding it. There's one on a Dicey. He hasn't checked the bomb yet. 5 seconds on it. Steel gets it. And that's a big win for 100 Thieves to secure the lead and economic advantage moving into this half. Wow,
that was crazy.
That almost came back the way of LG in a big way.
Yeah, because now when I said it was a stronger buy for LG, the only stronger buy was Dicey with the Phantom. Everybody else had Ghost and Stingers. So thankfully for Dicey, the one that had the stronger buy was playing versus 2 players at the window side where the spray came into his favor. But if he died early into the round, that would have been probably an open B site, and then you have pistols and stingers on a retake, which would have been harder. But thankfully, as they had the numbers advantage on a 5 versus 3, they drop a couple of players. You got to give it to Stellar from the way that he flanked it. Yes, some of his teammates fell down early, but that was because he had trigger discipline by flanking 2 players on the C side garage into B. So he manages to get those kills. His teammate gets a third, but then it comes down to a 2 versus 1 with Dicey as he was able to get a hat trick into the round. Exactly. Nothing but timing after timing that pays in the favor of 100 Thieves in the end.
And here it is coming actually in the favor of Luminosity. I mean, Killjoy just moved up to heaven. He gets smoked off. So now the A-bomb site is empty. A fortunate push as the Sovat just rotated out for 100 Thieves and leaves us Hiko. The bomb should get planted, but the Hunter's Fury does delay it, I think, a bit further, but he does find one on the Stellar, and another tag coming in on 2 players, so that's a huge ultimate coming out from Hiko. Steel waiting his time up here in heaven. 4 on 5 for Luminosity in the post-plant scenario. Unfolds. 2 kills coming out for KZ, a nice little wall bang double line up there. Thief finds another. 2 on 3 pressing in his Dicey, finds 1. LG. Clock ticking away on the bomb. But Asuna flanking over at long has already picked one up at Hell, and that's KZ to follow. So 2 on 1. Asuna looking to pop his ult and maybe find a way into the bomb site. Does not get a kill. And so the defense is separated. Wrapping around the bomb site is Asuna. Somehow looking to get somebody to peek him, and he's just being outplayed. The dance from Thief is a little too much. Beautiful round from LG, and a force buy. After force buy, actually, this is the 3rd round in a row that we've seen a force pay off. So yeah, the scrappy gameplay continues round after round. LG looking a little bit stronger than either you or I gave him credit for.
Definitely. And Asuna, I like the attempt there with the running back and also the hot hands, the underhand throw to really try to push Thief out of position to secure a 1 versus 1. But look at LG's patience on that play. It's a 2 versus 1. They don't really even want to go for a double peek, although they had a crossfire set up to guarantee a kill or guarantee the trade. They just played the clock, and they just wanted to make sure that they get the round under their belt. But this round, though, it's still not going to be over. As we continue to mention these force buys, it's going to be the Blade Storm that comes out, though, and we have the first kill coming through. Make that even a second courtesy of 100 Thieves, as they have a 1-man advantage, and the rest of Luminosity Gaming are holding back towards the defender, or towards the attacker spawn, rather. And they're all grouping up here to work towards the seaside, but once again, because they have this early mid control 400 Thieves, they already have Dicey inside the window room where they don't have to worry about people rotating towards the A side. I think Steel at this point should maybe rotate with his teammates too, so that they could stack up towards the C side. But you see from their position so far, from 100 Thieves, they're okay for giving up the site and playing the retake instead. Maybe they want to use a Blade Storm. They want to give a chance as well for the 2 players that died towards the attacker spawn to upgrade into weapons. But Shaija, as they go after this post plant, continues to press forward towards the defender spawn. He drops Hiko, and now they have a perfect setup here on a post plant. The thing is, they can't really fall all the way back towards C, so it's smart for them to just turtle into the site. And it's going to be Dicey that gets pegged earlier on in the back of the platform at C. So that's 1 position given away. And even 1 death as Shaija gets headshotted by the knives. A Proto putting 2 back himself. And Steel on a 2 versus 1. Good job for 100 Thieves to make this expensive. You see right now that he's at 100 with no small shields. So they just wanted to go for the econ damage. And it pays off quite well. 4 kills in the end. We will survive with Mana with the Vandal. But it's still going to be the round for Luminosity.
5 ultimates across the board for them as well, so we will get a full buy from 100 Thieves, but this round is certainly dangerous. Keep an eye out for Mata to be popping that Hunter's Fury to maybe initiate at a bomb site. And honestly, I think, and this is something that I consistently see whenever we cast or watch an LG game, is there's not usually bottom fraggers on this roster, you know, quote unquote, support players. Everybody contributes heavily, and I'm happy to report that these guys are all 5 playing exceptionally right now, and that's a beautiful frag from Mata early on in the round into Nitro at that long C challenge. Dicey does not connect with the operator, and suddenly, you know, over-rotating to the bomb site is 100 Thieves, but it doesn't matter. Casey's already up on the bomb site. He will get found by Dicey and Hiko, excuse me. So 2 kills are immediately traded back in the favor of 100 Thieves, and now it's a 3-on-2. Spike not yet planted, but it is there. Thief Opting instead to challenge with Mata, wisely so, they find the kill.
Spike planted.
One player left, that's Hiko. Clutch God. Not enough here, a Proto closes. 4-2 now, Luminosity looking good, Van Silly.
Definitely do. And even at that point, despite Dicey losing that shot earlier in the round, or missing the shot with the off-rotor at long C, he dashes away, and the idea is that, okay, let's focus on Dicey because he missed the shot so he can try to get a kill. And Nitro is just on the other entrance, like just a small off angle to try to trade it off. But somehow, Mata still comes in and gets the kill and wins it against Nitro, which really opens up the site there for LG to just storm in. Yes, they were able to hold as much as he could. Dicey, despite him letting his teammate fall, he was still able to get a couple of kills of his own. But it was just too strong there for Luminosity in the end, not giving a chance for 100 Thieves to regain control of the retake early into the pulse plant, that they forced now 100 Thieves back into an eco. Mata now going to try to watch a window push, as they expect this every single time, that it's an eco for 100 Thieves, that they're pressing down towards this mid. So you already see there, Dicey's at that window, but they're all falling back to look for looks like a group play towards the A side.
Yeah, knowing that 100 Thieves is on a light buy means they're probably going to group up and hit with 5 players regardless of where it is, but Steel denying the entrance into A with a Killjoy ult. And with, a minute left on the clock, it means that at least Luminosity is going to fall back and reset. They're not going to be forcefully pressured anywhere yet, but certainly limits their options now, burning 20 seconds off the clock. I think this is like the third round that we've seen 100 Thieves on an eco. LG has done an exceptional job of keeping their economy afloat while shutting down 100 Thieves. So as we see this round progress, 100 Thieves needs to collect kills here. They need to keep the economy in check of Luminosity before at some point it's just too big to break. Mata finding 1, finding 2. Okay, excellent Vandal headshots. My God, Asuna gets deleted along with his teammates there. I honestly did not expect Mata to even swing there, but he gets to the third anyway. Now it's a 5-on-2. I was just preaching to 100 Thieves to find a way to find some kills here, make it into a situation where LG isn't at max money at 7 rounds in. But LG is displaying a level of performance and competence. I'll get the word right this time. Though competency is a word, that's okay. But I'm happy to say that they are proving us both wrong right now, Vance. Like, seeing them play like this means that they're confident as hell. And in a series like this, against players that don't like losing, I just see this as nothing but good things for LG, besides just the scoreline. Like, look at this. All 5 players are hungry. Beautiful.
There was so much that happened in that round that was counters after counters for both of these teams. First off, the lockdown towards the A link forces everybody to run back towards the sewers. And from the position of where Dicey was at, he definitely hears those footsteps. And look at this. Mata, the reason why he's dancing back and forth over here is because not only a trap wire was broken, you saw Cypher trying to run back with the Proto, but he also had a camera up that allows for his teammates to know there's actually 2 players flanking, which Mata, with the time in his hands, allows him to go back and forth to get the entries. I mean, they're against pistols. They could take their time. They already have control of the A site no matter what. So he could just make sure that he kills the person towards the back flank. And if he dies or they focus too much towards him and he misses a shot, well, at least by then, a Proto can come back from the sewers and trade it off. And that's just off like the Killjoy ult, like I said before. They adapt and fall back into it. And as they walk back into the A site, though, 100 Thieves read that perfectly. They had a recon dart that went towards long A. They had from the shadows from Nitro that came out towards long A. And they saw 3 players there. So it's like, okay, we know the attack is happening towards A. And as they dash into the site, they went for the timing for 100 Thieves in the end to break that trap wire and try to pinch in. But unfortunately for LG, unfortunately for 100 Thieves, rather, LG was just on point on how they entered into the site.
I still can't get over that Mata play.
Yeah, it was nice.
Now, I don't know what we're watching here, but a Proto picking up 2 frags.
We're fine.
We're great. Moving on to the bomb site is Luminosity. My goodness, I didn't catch it, but 5-on-3 now. 100 Thieves already in a scenario where they need to be retaking this A bomb site. I believe that was over a long A.
Yeah, you see the X's there. So they just tried to push back for 100 Thieves, and they just lost pretty much.
Now, losing that component of your defense, your A bomb site hold and your rotator effectively, this early in the round, I'm not surprised that 100 Thieves is where they're at, but I think this is no question a save scenario, right? You don't want to be losing this operator on Dicey. You don't want to be losing the additional weapons in this unlikely retake where you have a Killjoy and a Jet. There's just not a whole lot of tools you have at your disposal. So they're going to opt to back up, at least cling to some of these weapons. I don't think Luminosity is going to go out of their way to maybe sacrifice everybody to do it, but we see Thief already up long C on the hunt. So he will get found out by that Killjoy turret. I don't think he'll get anywhere near the operator and spawn, so Dicey should be able to carry that out as Steel dies to the spike. Unfortunate. But I will draw attention to it. We see Nitro and Steel for 100 Thieves sitting on 1 and 2 frags, respectively.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily anything that they're doing that is, altogether bad or wrong, but I do think a big difference in this matchup is just the fact that LG came out with all 5 players playing the way that they are. And I don't mean that in the sense that they're all cracked, never missing aimers, but they're playing confident. They're playing together. They're swinging on positions, one or after another. Sometimes you see players try and feed these kills in a slow and determined manner and give up picks that they shouldn't. But LG's silencing any refrag possibility for 100 Thieves. So a lot of the times where you see challenges against the players like Nitro and Steel, they're not even getting an opportunity to shoot back.
You mentioned Phoenix, it so many times already that they were forced on ecos, right, Lex? So
yeah,
they're doing a good job of that.
For some reason I thought that was at mid, but that is at long A that Austin had passed that Phoenix ult. So I thought maybe Nitro was going to get a party sooner than this, but here they are poised at the front of the bomb site. Any moment now the B hit's coming in. Recon darts back in sight. Valir pulls the aim and he falls to KZ. Nitro down A-Link will contain Steel and Asuna, who both pick up headshots on a Thief and KZ. Pico finally rolling in with that Hunter's Fury. He's gonna find Stellar. And now a Proto in a 1v3 won't get it done. Asuna with 3 beautiful kills on the round. And 100 Thieves definitely not out of this game and certainly not even out of this half yet. 6 rounds would be tremendous on Haven on your defense. Splitting the rounds like that is definitely not a bad scenario at all. Mm-hmm. So, that's a sign of life out of 100 Thieves, and I'm happy to see it.
Just unfortunate that the round that they decide on a gun round to get into the B site again is the round where you have Hiko alive with the Hunter's Fury. Knowing that he plays maybe towards the garage side, as a lot of Sovas do, or he's supporting anywhere else, he still has that range with the Hunter's Fury to always shoot back the beams towards the B site. And there you go, Nitro, a couple of times that he lost the fight scores. The C-Long is going to be able to retaliate with 2 kills through the smoke versus 2 players. But the Nanostorm is going to come down. Is it going to affect him right now? Yeah, he's burning. Low HP is going to be Shija, and Steel is able to capitalize on that frag. Nitro with the hat trick, and that's it. They're starting to wake up finally here, as they finally heard you call him out, Lex. You said that they were low fragging, they hold the C side. A Proto's by himself inside the garage. Spike is down towards long C. He's trying to go for the surprise attack, and Hiko is the one that's going to surprise him himself, as he didn't clear the 50. So a flawless round, and probably even that flawless HP. For 100 Thieves, where not much is needed in terms of a buy, in terms of credits for 100 Thieves. They're going to be looking good for the last 2 rounds in terms of economy to hopefully bring it back to 6-6 on their end.
Well done to Nitro and Steel to bring that round in their favor. I mean, a little bit of fortune, maybe, with a little bit of that spam, but I tell you what, LG, if you're dying like that through that smoke, like, there's nausea right there. Like, they're almost wanting to throw up because that is such a lucky frag to the smoke, and 2 of them catch it. So right now we have a little bit of life back into 100 Thieves, and there's Dicey adding a bit more to the formula. Finds an opening onto Proto. That's that operator that we talked about earlier, needing to come through for both sides of this matchup to be effective. KZ creeping his up short. Dueling Fates continues. There's the peak, but Steel survives. Walks away without a scratch on him. Seeing that shot was KZ. He dashes out. And Dicey low HP still, but maintaining his strong position here at A. Stalling Luminosity, delaying the inevitable push. A lot of time left on the clock, but I see Rock Solid finds another. KZ loses his Gambit push up short, looking for a peek against him, and he gets just that, but
he looked the right angle too, man.
All right.
It's just unfortunate for him. Dicey's starting to wake up as well.
You'd love to see it. I mean, the fact is, I brought it up a couple times, was I expect Dicey to be a factor when he has an operator, specifically. And if you're avoiding that properly, a lot of the time it means that he's
left.
a little subdued in his impact on rounds. Doesn't mean he's not fragging. It doesn't mean he's not playing well, but clearly he's showing the impact that he can have right here. Those two beautiful openers. And the execute comes in. Steel finds one. Just two members of Luminosity trying to come up short and long, respectively, at A. Motto does find one, but they're both quickly controlled by Hiko and Steel. LG falls 6-5 now, still maintaining the lead, but this is getting closer and closer to that 6-6.5 that I mentioned being so good for 100 Thieves here.
And even at this point, you're able to keep the operator out of the hands of Shaija for LG, where we were talking about the chance where they could bring this into a 6-6, definitely rings true in their favor now in terms of not needing to have an op battle anymore. And Dicey, that was continuing to get these picks towards long A to start things off, he's going to look towards B. And you do have Thief that's looking to peek out towards that window. It's Alir. He's counting the 3 seconds before he gets the shot, but he misses, unfortunately. He was close on it, though, in our X-ray. But it's still going to be a 5 versus 5, but it allows Luminosity Gaming to take control of grass. Just around the corner, though, is going to be Asuna playing as that Phoenix. And a smoke to cover towards the entrance of the doorway. They know that they're expecting some sort of an aggressive push or map control on grass side, so they gave up on A, they gave up on C, and look how they're crunching in right now for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and this is a matter of inches on whether or not Dicey's going to be able to get a pick here, or he's going to get found out first. Accepting a little bit of damage, but not enough, and there it is. A beautiful peek on Amada. That's what I'm talking about. Working that angle enough to give himself some breathing room and not take unnecessary damage. He does just that. 5-on-4 now. 100 Thieves looking good. B push may be inevitable at this point as we see 4 members of Luminosity poised at grass and mid-slope. Second thoughts, perhaps, as they retreat some. 35 seconds remaining on the clock, but a garage stack is going to prevent them from finding any daylight here. Asuna and Nitro both finding spam kills through those doors. And the ult gets popped. Asuna finds one more, and that's pretty much it as Luminosity gets denied the garage entrance. Asuna and Nitro rock solid on the D, and that is exactly what you need out of your support, out of guys like Steel and Nitro in the closing rounds of the half. I mean, we brought it up because it was a necessary, adaptation, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
A change needed to come out of 100 Thieves, and I'll tell you, the performance out of those players did play a factor, and they're looking strong coming into half 2.
Definitely. And despite it's not going to be a numbers play, but it's just a whole play, and you saw it. That's what, 2 flawless rounds that they had in the last 3? They definitely were able to readapt, and I think it was due to the fact that we had so many of those scrappy rounds at the beginning as well, Lex, right? When we had force buys after force buys after force buys, where finally when 100 Thieves starts to get broke and LG is starting to run away with it, we still didn't have that moment, that opportunity where we were able to get an op in the hands of Dicey and land the shots. He got an operator once, he died, then finally once he started hitting shots, things just got a lot easier for them. But let's put a cap on that one. Let's switch over to this pistol round. We already have 1 player that's low on HP and 1 player that died, and that's 2 stuck in the back of the slate, and a big curveball allows 2 players to fall in the hands of 100 Thieves, leaving only now Shaija on his own. He's in the back of the spawn, coming into the seaside, and the wide swing comes forward from Hiko off the fake plant, and they're just pinching it in. He's dashing away. He lands the headshot onto Nitro. Frenzy to ring out as well from Dicey. And finally, as the spike gets planted, and Shaija moves back into the C site, Steel comes in for the backstab, and 100 Thieves puts another round in a row on their attacker side to make it 5 in the last 5.
It's been a while since we've seen 100 Thieves lead, but here they are, 7-6. Beautiful pistol round start. And I tell you this, and I don't mean this to spell doom for LG fans, but,
here we go.
Kind of like you were saying, they started out scrappy rounds. A lot of that, I think, the success came from the fact that, Dicey didn't have an operator yet. The last 3 or 4 rounds, we saw him put his team in a man advantage, 5-on-4. And I think, it relieves a lot of pressure on the rotates, especially on a map like Haven where there's 3 bomb sites. It means that the rotations don't need to move nearly as quickly as they would if you maybe aren't having 2-man advantage in a round, right? So,
yeah,
100 Thieves did a good job of managing their aggression, stalling Luminosity towards the end of that half, and taking the pistol. It definitely feels as though 100 Thieves has Luminosity figured out, at least in the mechanical sense. They're taking gunfights confidently, and you know, a lot of these challenges from LG are getting unmet with trades. So now it's 7-6. It would be a little too late to say that the comeback has already started. Or I guess it is accurate to say it's already started. That makes any sense. Daisy finds one. Shiki hiding in the smoke. Looking for the second, doesn't get it. The 100 Thieves does have the A-bomb site now.
Okay.
As I say that, though, 2 players swing in from CT. That Thief finding one. Runs to get the Phantom, but the classic storm has just ensued above the heads of Steel and Hiko. Nitro now in a 1v3 finds a snappy headshot on a Stellar. But with a 1v2, 20 seconds left on the clock, it's looking so scary for 100 Thieves now. Nitro feeling the pressure, but this is not a place he has not been before. 10 seconds, finds the third and the fourth headshot on the round. Nitro gets it done in a dicey situation of his own, but that is a beautiful clutch coming out from the All-Star addition to 100 Thieves. Well done, Nitro.
Man, this is where the whole team should fall in right now and just dance around him for saving that round for 100 Thieves. That was he had to come up big on that one with 20 seconds left on the clock on a 2 versus 1. So that means what, 30 seconds on a 4 versus 1. That was such a tough round to win in their favor, and that's all against Classics, Lex. Yeah. And it seems as though it was shambled from individual plays after 100 Thieves were able to get the first trade. Because you saw that close range play from Shaija with the shorty. The first kill, I forgot who it was, but as soon as it was traded out with Dicey, he dashed into the site, updrafted into the site, and he was on his own and out in the open on elevation with 3 guys moving into the defender spawn and killing with Classics. Now into this round, though. It is going to be a gun round for both of these teams and still a 4-on-4, but we've already taken control of the front side of the map, courtesy of 100 Thieves, but already a 3-man rotation towards that back. Shaija puts another one. Dicey to fall. Nitro caught as he rotates back, and should I say, I was trying to pull the spike out, and Thief jumps in from the logs, gets the kill, upper hand. So 4-on-2. Spike has not yet to be planted. Steel again on that ultimate flank. He's watching the flank pusher first, because they still have a lot of time to work with, so that's fine. It's a 3-on-2. We have 1 low HP onto Shaija that's playing towards that logs, 1 watching a garage push from the back of the spawn, and 1 at platform. So they're in great position so far, and we're still playing. I thought it was going to be individually at the start, but looks like they're going to group up together off the Owl drone to try to clear it out.
Revealing area.
Yeah, and this C hit coming out from 100 Thieves is obviously the rotations are already here. So Thief swings out unprompted, collects 2 headshots, and that's a wrap. 8-7. Luminosity closing the lead back up. Down to 1 round now. Listen, I'm a little confused as to what happened that round. I think that was a miscommunication from 100 Thieves. If there was ever a situation where I didn't expect them to have these kind of an issue, or that kind of an issue, it was right there. 3 players committed up onto the bomb site while Steel was walking onto A, up along A. I think maybe there was an expectation that the bomb was going to fall back and just go back to A, knowing that they had a free bomb site.
Yeah.
But somebody overcommitted somewhere with a spike and lost it, and maybe that's why that round broke down that way for 100 Thieves. But they really outmaneuvered LG for a moment. Well, he didn't commit to the lurk either, though. That's what I'm saying. I think they were maybe second guessing themselves, but it doesn't matter. They've pushed into B immediately. That's Dicey falling. Mata finds one of his own into Asuna, so this fast plays coming out on the eco for 100 Thieves have not yielded any positive results yet. Proto exchanging some fire down range. Nothing connects yet, but he does accept the shot dart to the feet. A second one dropping him to 45 HP. A little pressure from Mata's there to bail him out. Relieve the heat as Thief. And 1 player remains in garage. I believe that's Steel. All right, let's see if we can get some Sheriff headshots off the Killjoy.
That's the second time that Nigel's just trying to get a spike down, and then Thief pops up from logs onto the box and kills him. So they're gonna have to start getting. They're gonna have to start at least thinking about that when they start executing towards the C side. But after these 2 unsuccessful hits, I wouldn't be surprised if 100 Thieves are gonna switch back towards A or even try B because they haven't done that yet. And especially now that 100 Thieves are on an eco. And they don't get anything out of it on top of that. I think they're definitely going to try a different way of attacking here, the other sites for this site. But Luminosity Gaming, after losing Pistol and Eco in their on their end, as soon as I had the weapons right, it's starting to look to be a very close game once again here on the second half.
And I love to see that, Vance. I mean, I almost regret a little bit not giving LG enough credit, but I think from the fact that the way the matchup went the other day, what we saw from 100 Thieves this morning and their capabilities, I think this is just LG playing at the level that we expect them to.
Yeah.
Right? And it's obviously paying off. They're keeping a very close scoreline with 100 Thieves, and there's certainly a lot of Valorant left to play in this game, and I'm not counting them out at this point. But, we are on the defensive side of Haven, and I think more of this has to do on whether or not 100 Thieves has,
something for Haven.
Yeah, I would say just like a successful attack side. Not just in the sense of winning the rounds, but finding a way to crack the defense of Luminosity, because traditionally when we've watched LG on this map, they have been very scary because of the op on the jet. Here it is, the A play coming up. Austin pops his ultimate. He's onto the site. Oh, finds one. Steel finds another. And he just keeps pressing forward, grabbing another one on the KZ. And there it is. 3 beautiful entries coming in for 100 Thieves. And that should be a wrap. Thieves on the bomb site is refusing to relent. He's not retreating. He's not giving up. And he is going to fall for his attempts. It was a good try. Now you're in a 1-on-3, Mata. Steel finding his third on the round. That was a blitzkrieg onto the site, and wow, just immediately finding kills. I wonder if LG either didn't hear the Phoenix ult being popped, or if they weren't quite sure where, or maybe somebody was blind. But from the kills that we saw, it seemed like Luminosity was prepared to hold their ground, and obviously Thief was managed to find a few frags out of it, but it was pretty immediate that that they crumbled there on the bomb site.
Well, I think it's also to play from Asuna, just knowing how his Cypher plays too, right? So they battled it up for the A orb control, which allowed that run it back to be available for Asuna. And once he ran into the site and the cage popped up, there's chances sometimes that the Cypher wants to play in that cage, especially that it's so close to that site that could actually get a surprise attack and a surprise kill onto a spike carrier. And after that, then it's just catching everybody else off guard, because an off angle where, Shaija, where he was at with the operator looking back towards sewers, would not expect somebody coming from the left side, because technically he had a player there watching his back, watching his angle on the left. But speaking about Shaija, he was able to get the first kill from an off angle himself into long A, and he falls back into the site. Low HP, but still a man advantage for LG. So they're able to stack back numbers into the A side, play it across fire to B. But 100 Thieves, they look like they still want to work towards this A site.
Killjoy ult comes out from Steel. You're absolutely right. The A play will come, and I believe the Hunter's Fury just canceled out that, so never mind.
We like that.
Well played. Mata collecting the ultimate destruction. Stellar throws the Paranoia out towards short, delaying this push. Empress comes out, 30 seconds remaining.
Left.
Thief knows he's about to make contact, and he's ready. Rapid fire Vandal incoming. Stellar finds one. Thief gets one of his own. Dicey trades out Stellar. 2 members of 100 Thieves remaining. That's Steel getting scanned, and he's dropped by Thief, who's pressing in for his third on the round, but Mata collects it before he gets to it. That's an Odin murder underneath hell from Dicey. I'm paying my respects, man. That was brutal. 9-9, tied again. Luminosity showing that they are absolutely ready to compete in this series.
And Mata on the top of the scoreboard, the most recent addition to Luminosity Gaming, right? Replacing Venerated. Well, we praised him many, many times as a Sova player with High Grounds, with 100 Thieves, and also joining LG in the beginning. And Mata is definitely filling his shoes. Stellar did his job, actually, towards that A side, holding it back towards that default spot, trying to stay alive as long as he can. But really what saved that round for LG was Mata's Hunter's Fury to break the lockdown, and also his recon arrow to allow those kills to happen through smokes to drop Steel, and including him as a spike carrier, and put this round back on the back of Luminosity, tying things up as well. Possibility that we have an eco. Yeah, you can see through the X-ray. It's an an eco right now from 100 Thieves, which means Luminosity now has a chance to regain the lead in this matchup. And as we talked about how, they wanted to, for me, being in the shoes of Luminosity Gaming, I wanted to play Haven because of the result that I faced off against 100 Thieves on a set 2 days ago. It was a map pick that I've chosen, and it's a map that I lost 13-2. So you want to go back into a different map. How can we play this differently, knowing how 100 Thieves are strong on that map, and how strong they were versus Cloud9 just earlier today. So they're trying to bring the
Mata
fight
is
back to Haven. It
spotting out
works.
this garage push, dude, with the Odin collects so much damage, but gets nobody, Vansili.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff coming out. LG almost getting a huge gift there, but Mata is able to grab one, a Proto another.
30 seconds left.
Hunter's Fury gets popped from Hiko, yields nothing. Now in a 2-on-3. That's Nitro still alive. Oh, and a shock dart silences a Proto. Mata now with his third Odin kill in the round. Stand as Hiko forced to fall back just a bit, but both players, 10 seconds remaining. Hiko needs to pull a miracle out of
10
his hat, and
seconds
he's
left.
poised to do just that. Wrapping the bomb site, they don't know. No, but he has no ammo. KZ collects it. Oh my goodness. That almost was a signature Hiko moment.
Yes.
And my heart goes out to him. He didn't check the ammo cap, but you know what? That was almost it. Well played by Luminosity to rotate into the bomb site in time, by the way. That was Mata, who we saw on the other side of that Omen smoke, basically ready to hit Mouse 1 and get a 3K, and it just didn't happen, right? He turns onto the bomb site, and finally he's like, oh my gosh, it's going to pay off. They're walking into my crosshair. Picks up 3 beautiful Odin kills on the round. You love to see it.
Even though Hiko, though, I think despite having 8 bullets, 7 bullets, whatever, he was already in a perfect position to actually catch 2 players off guard. Technically, in his angle, should have been a burst, 1 tap, whatever. It shouldn't take that many bullets to actually kill that player. And unfortunately, now it's going to be 100 Thieves trying to desperately push out and split towards the A side and gets fully denied. And I think at this point, is it an eco on their end? I forgot to look at the scoreboard. No,
they've ecoed so many times in this game, Vince.
Yeah. That's just unfortunate for them. So they've been Luminosity Gaming have been doing a great job actually controlling the economy of 100 Thieves throughout this whole matchup. But just while we have this garbage time, then with the eco that we have from 100 Thieves, that 2 versus 1 from Hiko, the signature moment, as you mentioned, Lex. Technically, it would have taken max 2 bullets to get that first kill, and then he would have surprised Mata with the last 5 bullets, and that would be enough to kill those 2 guys because he had the element of surprise. But somehow, his opponents were absorbing bullets when he was shooting at him, and Shaija somehow just stayed alive, and staying alive they do with a flawless round into this one too. And they are looking at 11 rounds, looking for 1 more, at least to guarantee a map point.
It's really cool to see LG elevating their play round after round. I mean, 100 Thieves really doesn't seem to be making this easy, right? Like, they're not playing particularly bad. I'm not seeing them whiff tons of easy kills or anything of that nature. It's LG looking really crisp. And, man, I got to think, you know, on some level, for 100 Thieves here, you haven't really found a whole lot of success on the attack side in these gun rounds. You know, some daylight has to be made somewhere, and I think they're at a loss. Maybe they're looking for a C-split or something here. I don't know what I would call if I'm 100 Thieves, but the fact is they've been, unfortunately, if you're a 100 Thieves fan, the economy has been shattered so many times by Luminosity that the scoreline may show a very close game, but it's almost as though 100 Thieves has by chance or otherwise just not really been able to get into it yet. That said, Asuna pressuring Garage just a bit. And that Odin is so powerful, even wall banging him through that ledge, dealing intense damage. However, Asuna with a beautiful curveball gets 1, traded out immediately by Proto. 100 Thieves on the other side of the map is ready for an A hit, so that was a mere ruse, a distraction by Asuna at Garage. Let's see whether or not his sacrifice will be paid in full or whether or not LG will be on map point, winning this round.
Well, it's still moving in slowly. They're looking for this spike plant. Looks like it's going to be in the corner in the back of the site. It's going to be planted for sewers and for long A pretty much. And Shaija is just looking to updraft with this ult. He's going to spawn him, gets the kill onto Dicey, so that refreshes his blades, has the operator work with as well. It's a 4 versus 3 with the cloud burst coming back from Dicey and evaporating into thin air. And that allows now Luminosity to press forward. But is that all of Steel's kit towards the defender side? Off the alarm bot, there you go, he pops him out, and Nitro also capitalizes on the kill on the Shaija. Now 1 versus 1 because we know a flank is coming. Hiko wins it versus Thief. Steel looking back from the corner of sewers, and that's just the 2 veterans going for that double peek, and they both get the kills that they need. And 100 Thieves are making it 1 point away from tying things up.
I don't know what to make of that round. We had the misdirection over at Garage kind of get foiled, right? The fake didn't exactly work. The rotator still came in relatively in time. And that was pretty scary for 100 Thieves throughout. But closing that out at the end there, that's Steel just making a play. I love that 100 Thieves has that depth, because even though we can sit here and like find some issues with their overall play from map to map, they can still dig deep on that veteran experience and at least rely on these guys to come up in situations where they are a couple man down. They are in a situation where they're, you know, in post plants that are seemingly unwinnable, and they get it done in a high pressure situation. So this game that was already close just gets closer.
Okay.
The C-play gets stopped immediately by a proto headshots, 2 of them to come out as Dicey finds one of his own, but gets wrapped on a third. A proto looking like the god he is, shuts down the C-play and puts his team in a position to be on map point. 11 to 10 and Steel in a 1v3. There are 2 very low players on Luminosity. But with the spike in hand moving towards B, Steel has a lot to do in this round. Has a lot of time to work with, granted. But a 1v3 is so important, Vansili. He's got, like I said, he's got a lot of time. But a lot of pressure going in here.
Yeah, I see this. He kept pinging it because I think he's going to try to break the trap wire long range and then fall back somewhere else. There you go, see? So now that forces rotation out from the C side, but there's another trap wire there. That's so unfortunate for him. So now the jig is going to be up. It's going to be so hard for him to actually get back into the C side, and a Proto who had a triple kill is looking for the quad, but it's stolen away by Shaija up in towards the back spawn, and we do have map point for LG.
Match point.
And you were mentioning how the praise of a Proto holding towards that C side, Lex. The way that he played versus Asuna's flame wall, actually. So let them into the site, let them ult towards the back of the site as well with Nitro 2. He hears all of that coming, and then he gets the first element of surprise by getting the kill onto Nitro, and then capitalizes on the rest to just hold and anchor down that C site. That was a beautiful play here from that defender as a Cypher, as a Proto we're looking at him right now. So now we have such a broken buy for 100 Thieves, and LG are looking very close to the finish line to get this first map.
Yeah, this is dire straits for 100 Thieves. Being on such a weak buy in this, what could end up being the final round, you do have a Killjoy ult, you do have a Phoenix ult, and clearly they're aware that, you know, this short A presence has been a factor, that players from LG like to make presence over here at the very least. Asuna is the misdirection once more, and that's actually going to pay off this time as he collects 1 kill with his ultimate. And that may be enough to draw rotate. And as I say that, check the mini-map. They are absolutely not fooled. They are stacking towards A with 2 players. And for a moment, I thought Luminosity was going to move Stellar over to A as well, but he maintains his position on B. So KZ sniffs out the earlier aggression at long A. Gets scanned, so we won't be able to post on the angle. However, Thief is here, 1 and 2. Finding a third, perhaps. Not quite yet. Asuna coming up short with the Odin, finding one of his own, so now Hiko chimes in, and this is a 2-on-2 retake scenario for Luminosity. 30 seconds left on the clock, the spike due to be planted any moment now.
30 seconds left. Spike planted.
Stellar in heaven. Peeing into the bomb site, seeing where the rotations go to the post plant. Nobody moves. Perhaps knows that somebody could be on default, but no way to clear underneath him yet. His teammate must clear from below. A Proto finds the first, Stellar finds the second. Hiko over peaks, unfortunate. Lost to the map. Luminosity, wow, they are looking strong as ever. And they take down map 1 against 100 Thieves. The series is now 1-0, Luminosity Gaming.
Definitely, and thank you so much here to the LG loyals that prove me wrong, that says LG has what it takes. We are going to guarantee that second map and possibly even a third, where we do have 100 Thieves that have to fight it back. In that last round that we saw, like you said, Lex, we did have the run it back coming in from the Phoenix to try to look back towards that long seaside, but where their plan kind of foiled was due to the fact that you still had Shaija at the sewers. And as soon as the execution came out from Asuna towards C, they tried to peek towards the sewers, and he got an op kill. So Shaija already saw them, got a pick, and rotated back, which allowed Thief to move in with him for that stack. So the fake never worked out, unfortunately, for 100 Thieves. LG securing this first map, and it was a scrappy to start things off. It started to be very one-sided in favor of LG in that first half. We saw a comeback from 100 Thieves, but in the end, it's still going to be LG that moves forward into the end. And with that, we will take a break, and after the break, we will have map number 2, so don't go anywhere.